This might be a little zoomed out, but I'm just using the top of the cabinet above my pooper to display this mess, I guess, to you, but mostly the cabinet. So, when it comes to sharpening, just put it on there, raise it up, make sure you're keeping a consistent angle. There you go. So, the one sheet with that is the Sharpie marker. If you use Sharpie marker, color, oh no, I spilled toothpaste everywhere. Shit. I don't think I'm gonna edit this, so you're gonna see that. It's gonna take too much time already. Just take a Sharpie marker and color just the very edge, like that. Just really like that. There we go. Look, just the sharpened part. You can go ahead and color. I feel like a fucking moron. You can go ahead and color both sides, but I like to just do it once, because then when it's down on the stone, it's easier to tell what's the shadow being cast by the edge and what's Sharpie if you color both sides at the same time. So I like to just do it at once, and if it does get on, it might get on the other side, I just like to wipe it off completely. So I'm just gonna fucking put this down, raise it up, and give it a few good slow strokes. And then you look at the edge. And so for my edge, you can see, I think, I don't know, half my viewfinder is blocked by the cabinet. You can see that there is no Sharpie. So that I am keeping a pretty consistent angle. So if I just keep on going, I'm going to sharpen away until a burr is formed along this edge. And you can feel it with your thumb. So I'm just going to go till there. This might be sped up, but it probably won't be because it's very bad. Okay. Nice and consistent. Let me give you some room. So, especially with long knives like this, which you're going to be doing because you don't care about knives, it's a kitchen knife, I try to keep a finger towards the tip of the blade, because with just the hand on the handle, close to the handle, you know, it's all good right here, but once you get out here, the metal starts to bend, and I don't feel confident that that's keeping the angle consistent. And also, the more points of contact you have, the more, I don't know, sources of info you have on whether or not you're moving, whether or not the angle's the same, all that kind of shit. So keep on going. Alright, you want to check every once in a while, make sure you're not fucking anything up too hard. One thing that you can do is, so I have lights right here, I can check the reflection of the edge to see if there's more than one reflection, to see if I have a double angle on my edge instead of just one single flat bevel. So I'm gonna do that. I don't see anything out of the ordinary, all going pretty good. And pat of the thumb, ow, and sick. I don't know if I just did a voice recording, it was kind of uncomfortable, but I can feel that there's a slight bump at the very edge, which is good, because that means that the metal has curled up and around, and that means that the two sides of the V edge have met. Because on this side, nothing. All right. So, you know, you do your dominant hand, everything's good. You know, it's all comfortable. But once you decide to sharpen the other side of the blade, it's when everything goes to fucking hell. A lot of people do this. I don't like that because I can't see anything at all. It's literally facing away from me. So what I do, and what's recommended for, I don't know, I guess being more skilled, is you just go to your non-dominant hand. Now this introduces all kinds of fuckery and chances to fuck up, because at least when I started, it was a fucking mess. I didn't know what I was doing. It's hard to keep it still because it's non-dominant, whatever. So what I like to do, or what I liked to do in the past, was lots of coatings of Sharpie, and then a few swipes, check, to make sure it's consistent. Don't wipe it off before you check, because you can just wipe off those Sharpie marks, and we want to see those. So you need to check, wipe it off, and then reapply Sharpie, and then do a few swipes. And I mean, I'm not saying every, you know, stroke twice, check, wipe, and then Sharpie, but just every time you're like, oh, is this fucking up? Reapply Sharpie and keep going. All right, I like to have a little spray bottle because, at least with this stone, it's just nice to keep it a little bit wet. But don't go overboard, because when you're trying to lay it down flat and come up to your angle, that adhesion of the water will fuck everything up. So try to start a little dry, and then add water as you get confident, because it can clear all the nasty stuff off. Honestly, I didn't have to add water there, but I did, so whatever. All right, so now we have a burr form. Come back over, find our angle, and nice, slow, even strokes. A little bit longer. Wipe. Check. Do a bit more at the tip. So what to do, or what I do when I find a burr on everywhere except one part of the blade, instead of just going to that part of the blade, sharpening it, I just sharpen the whole edge more. That way it's all the same, instead of, like, I don't know, messing it up. There's just a way that I do it. I don't know if it matters, but it just makes it easier. Also, try not to apply too much pressure, because then the more pressure you put down, you know, for one, it's not sharp, but you can still fuck your shit up with a knife. Don't, like, you know, fall off and cut yourself. Just try to keep it even, because the more you press down, the more you're likely to just fuck shit up. So I can now feel there's a burr completely on this other half of the blade. All right, so now what do? You have a burr on one side, and then you flip over the burr and you have that completely all on the other side. So what I like to do is I start at the tip, find that angle. This is a little harder than the flat part back here, because this has a whole lot more reference points than just the tip, but it's not that bad. And then you just give it a few slow, consistent backstrokes against that burr. All right. Now I can feel the burr is not at all on that side. Great. All right, so we have successfully flipped the burr back over to the side that we started on. And then just a few light passes on the other side. Feel we have successfully flipped that back over. All right, so now, oh, I just thought of this. Well, so this is a leather strap. Piece of leather, piece of leather, piece of wood. And it has actually metal polish on it. There are stropping compounds, but you can just do it on metal polish. This is Flitz metal polish. Yeah, it's animal leather, but it doesn't need to be. If you just get a piece of softwood, pine, well, fuck, you're not gonna do that. You just have this, okay. So once the burr is minimized to its form, this is a piece of softwood. See if you can cut off that burr. Let me go get some paper and see if this works. This ratty-tatty paper. There we go. So that's sharp. Probably even shave. I don't know if you can see that on my arm, but that shave some hair. I can see if you have reservations doing that. One, because it's gross, because it gets a bunch of shit on your knife that you cook with, and also because you're cutting into your arm. Do that. I don't have a wooden strop anymore, or I do, but I don't know where they are. Actually, wait, I do. Down. Fuck. Anyway, I used a wooden strop for a while. It works good. I just use this now because it's longer than the piece of wood I had. So if you want to really extend, or here, let me just do this. So I don't have a ton of confidence that this will cut. Okay, but it doesn't cut very nice. There's different degrees of niceness when it comes to cutting paper. See how it's snagged? What this does, I don't know, it burnishes the edge, kind of helps get rid of the rest of that burr. Really refine your apex down to just the shit you want. So you get that going. Few even ways. All right. So the thing with stropping wood, anything you would want to strop on, you always strop away. You come up, find the angle, and strop away from it. Because once you start coming the other way, you're just going to cut the shit out of whatever you're stropping on. You're gonna cut the wood, you're gonna take chunks out of it, you're gonna cut your leather. It's just not a good time. So you just try to go away. Oh, my paper's away. And then that really does refine the edge a whole heck of a lot. So that's what you would do with this. That's all you need. So you're just cutting food, which is pretty soft. So this is probably the next step up. This is 6,000 grit, I think. I hope you saw that catch because it was sick. I sharpened off all something like this. This is a whole lot finer. It'll get you better edges. And then with this combo, if you're good, you can get, I don't know, 99% of the way, if not more, than with this $60 stone, this $70 stone, and a straw. This, and this. This is all you need. This is a step up. Get a piece of wood with some metal polish on it. Strop it up, and you're set. Honestly, this is all you need for food. This is because I like knives. Oh, what am I doing? I need this out. Or no, I don't. It's one Yanezi Swags Sharpening Totally Swag tutorial.